Don't worry, Princess. We won't let you down. With that, Twilight and her friends charged off to the palace labyrinth, Discord's laughter echoing through the Hall of Records behind them. Celestia watched them go, heart in her throat. This would be another trial where Twilight and her friends would face a peril that had nearly claimed Celestia herself long ago, but the elements of harmony were the only thing that could help them now. But she knew her old foe quite well. She had never let herself forget. Celestia waited for the laughter to stop ringing in the hall, frowning at thin air, eyes shut. They'll be at the labyrinth in no time at all, you know. Say what you're going to say. Discord, as mangled and horrific looking as he had ever been, slithered into existence before her, whirling into being from thin air. My lady, he said, bowing deeply. I must say, you're looking different these days. She shuddered as he ran a clawed hand through her flowing mane. I like it. Very colorful. Celestia let him prowl around her, watching him with deep suspicion. What are you planning? Oh, stop that, Discord said with a wave. You know very well I'm not going to tell you. Full marks for the imposing Queen Act, though. Very well done. Alas, though, he said, affecting a pose of deep, deep despair. As you have probably already guessed, I am still quite weak from my lengthy imprisonment. Rains of chocolate milk are far from the sorts of nonsense I can get up to normally, he said, his tone growing malicious. As you well know. Twilight will deal with you in no time at all, then, Celestia said, harshly. Memories of Discord's full power lashed at her mind. So much fire. So much chaos. Discord backstroked through the air, clicking his tongue reproachfully. You know, I was actually disappointed that I wouldn't get to play with you again, but now I see you're so much less fun. You've let that fire in your belly burn out. Dull, dull, dull. His mad eyes bored into her. You seem tired, Celestia. Celestia gave him a haughty sneer. Do I? Heavy is the weight on the head that wears the crown, perhaps? Oh, such a shame. But your little pony seemed to have some spirit at least, especially that little protege of yours. So proud, so loyal. Very powerful, too, I've no doubt, Discord sneered mockingly. I'll enjoy breaking her, he snarled, the mask of amiable, almost friendly lunacy dropping away into a maelstrom of teeth and fury. Here again was the creature out of nightmare, the mad thing that existed to do nothing but cause pain and misery to match its own misbegotten existence. You will not. Oh, will I not? He crooned. You will not! Celestia bit back the words, looking away from her old foe irritably. A little flash of terror had loosed her rigid self-control, an all too vivid image of Twilight ensorcelled, her will broken and her spirit dulled by Discord's malign influence flashing through her imagination like wildfire. Discord howled with laughter. There's that fire I remember! He rolled and pirouetted in midair, gleefully. The face behind the queenly mask is worn indeed, if a little jab like that is all it takes to get at you now. Celestia gave him an acid look. I will enjoy passing you in the sanctuary once you are imprisoned once again, she said, icily. I'll admit some pettiness and confess that comparing your face now to the cringing wreck you're bound to end up as will be very satisfying. I'm sure, Discord purred, looking bored. Do you know, this conversation has been a real pleasure. I find I no longer care if I win or lose, because no matter what happens, I can smell doom on you, Celestia. 1,000 years is a long time to hold a grudge, and I was never that sane to begin with, he said, his tone cool and collected, but his eyes blazing with fury. It's almost enough for me to see that your armor is battered, your mask is slipping. I can see it crushing that proud, proud heart of yours. As he spoke, he lost control of his voice, which became more and more filled with a mad, gleeful joy, eyes lit with all-consuming hatred. And I know your weakness, he gloated. I look forward to making her dance in front of you, even if you and your wretched sister are pointing the elements at me as I start the tune. Oblivion will be worth it, just to watch you break as you see what remains of Twilight's sparkle when I'm finished with her. His face hovered inches from hers, his eyes wild with spite and rage. You will never get the chance, Celestia said, too aware of the little tremble in her voice. Twilight and her friends will defeat you. Discord's look of hate broke into a broad grin. With a suddenness that stunned Celestia with terror, his head darted forward and he planted a kiss on her forehead. I haven't even gotten to the best part, he whispered in her ear, almost gently rolling around behind her in the air. The best part is that even if you're right and I fail completely and utterly, and your faithful student overcomes me immediately, which won't happen, incidentally, I've had the true pleasure of discovering that if I don't break you, you'll willingly destroy yourself. Celestia rounded on him. What are you talking about? She demanded. You don't know? No. Or perhaps you think not admitting it will make it go away. Oh, my dear Celestia, Discord said, flying around her slowly, his voice a poisonous hiss. It's all so deliciously ironic that I'm inclined to let it happen anyways. You know, I just might. Ha! He leapt into the air before her. Looks like your little ponies have arrived. In the wrong place, of course, since they didn't stop and think. See you in the funny pages, he said, blowing her a kiss. With a snap of his claws, he vanished. Some time later, Celestia stumbled up to the cringing statue of Discord. The Draconicus's frozen expression of sudden terror looked down on her mockingly. What? She yawned, head swaying. What did you do to me? Me? I didn't do anything, replied a silent voice. Didn't you listen? All I had to do was watch. Celestia's eyes, hazing over as sleep descended, left the terror-filled stone orbs of Discord as they rolled up in her head, and she collapsed into unconsciousness. Unheard by the guards who gathered around Celestia, yelling and barking orders, mad laughter roared out silently into the night.